Thank you, Administrator, for coming today, helping us out on some things. First question I had, in your testimony, you mentioned the hotline that workers can call, as well as a whistleblower hotline. Do you have that phone number? Can you, for the record, state what it is? Can you remind folks where they can go in order to make that call?
We have a link on our website, so FAA.gov, where you can go find access to that hotline. We've also set up a specific hotline for Boeing employees, which we have had communicated out at the factory so they can reach us directly.
Is that on FAA.gov as well?
Yes, it is.
So for Boeing employees, they can go to FAA.gov right now if they have any concerns.
Absolutely.
Is that a confidential communication?
It's run through a very confidential process. We have a group that focuses on whistleblowers to make sure identity is protected and that appropriate actions are taken.
Thank you very much. I know FAA has chosen to put inspectors in the facilities. Does that include in Spirit as well?
We do have inspectors in Spirit as well, yes.
Yeah, and that's new. And can you give us a range of the numbers of people that you've deployed into the Boeing and Spirit facilities?
I think we have about 2 dozen at Boeing and maybe a half a dozen at Spirit.
Yeah. And can you give an indication of whether you think that'll be permanent? Is this going to be short term? Like, how long does this last? Is it part of what you need to be doing as part of a permanent solution?
So we're undertaking a 6-week audit. So we're in the middle of that now, and that audit will give us guidance on where we need to go. I think we're also going to look at this culture survey that's due at the end of the month, and then make a determination of how many folks we need on the ground in both places. So we haven't made that determination, but I do anticipate we will want to keep people on the ground there. So we don't know how many yet, but we do think that presence will be warranted.
Do you have any initial thoughts on the impact of the MAX 9 accident and its influence in your decision making about ODA authorities and how much to pull back from Boeing at this time?
I think the events of January 5th, it really created 2 issues for us. One, what's wrong with this airplane? But 2, what's going on with the production at Boeing? And there have been issues in the past, and they don't seem to be getting resolved. So we feel like we need to have a heightened level of oversight to really get after that. So it was certainly triggered by the MAX 9, yes.
But nothing, no permanent decision yet about removing some authority from the ODA organization at Boeing.
No
on a permanent
decisions.
basis.
I mean, we've tasked MITRE to give us a view on what the options are. I've heard Boeing CEO mention an option for third-party quality control. So I think it's important that we look at all options on the table and understand how do we make changes that are going to give us a different result than we've had.
Yeah, thanks. I want to move to a little bit more to the FAA bill that we passed. I jokingly asked you ahead of time if I was going to ask you if it was a great bill or greatest bill, but we really want to impress upon the Senate how important this is to get. They're trying to get it done, but how important it is to get a final bill done. Is there anything in that bill? Can you talk to anything in that bill that you would have needed ahead of this, or do you have ahead of January 5th, or do you have everything that you need for at least for this particular investigation?
Well, I guess I'll make 2 comments. One is we really appreciate the effort on the bill because it creates a huge amount of disruption to not have it. So the constant running up against deadlines, I've only been there 3 months and I've probably had a dozen meetings on what happens if there's a shutdown, what happens if we don't have authorization. So it does create a lot of uncertainty for us. I don't see anything in particular that, it's possible I'll come back in 6 months and tell you that, we need something. I think we're going to need more boots on the ground. We're going to need more inspectors. We don't have that many inspectors on the aircraft certification side of the house. So that will be an addition of manpower. But we haven't scoped that, and I think we can do it within our current authorities as long as we can find the funds for it.
Yeah, great. So I did outline some of the issues in the 23 bill on accessibility, on BV loss, a few other things, and we'll just get back to you with those for the record
Great.
as well. But thanks for coming up. Appreciate it, and yield back.